There are a lot of factors that affect the taste of your coffee. The device in which you brew your coffee, the temperature of the water as it mixes with the coffee grounds, the age of the bean before roasting, the age of the bean after roasting. But more than all of these things, the location in which your coffee is grown has a really great effect on the taste of your coffee. I'm Tim Schmoyer. Let's talk together about the where of coffee and why it matters. Coffea arabica had its start in Ethiopia. There are over 125 species in the genus Coffea, but for our purposes, the one we're really interested in is arabica. Though its name is arabica, it had its start across the Red Sea in the nation of Ethiopia. And today, Ethiopia has some of the greatest, most exquisite tasting coffees that you could drink. So if Ethiopia is where it began, why is it called Arabica? By the time that European taxonomists began naming plants and animals with their scientific names, most commercially available coffees were grown in the Arabian Peninsula, and they were exported to Europe through ports like the port of Mocha. If you order a mocha today, you aren't necessarily getting Arabian grown coffee, but the term mocha entered the coffee industry because of the name of this famous port. In the early days of the worldwide coffee trade, the Ottoman Turks had control of the market. In order to keep their hold on this monopoly, they made the seed inert by roasting it or boiling it slightly at origin so that importers in the West couldn't cultivate the seeds and start new plantations around the world. In fact, it was a capital offense to export living green coffee beans out of Arabia in those days. As the story goes, a Dutch trader was able to smuggle a living coffee tree out of the port of Aden and back to Holland in the year 1616. From there, the plant was cultivated across Southeast Asia. For a while, coffee was grown in Ceylon, now named Sri Lanka. When blight killed nearly all the population of coffee plants on the island, plantations began to spring up in the East Indies, particularly the island of Java. More on that in a later video. Colonies in the New World also started growing coffee when again it was smuggled out of Europe by a French naval officer named Gabriel Mathieu de Clue in 1723. He kept it alive for over a month on his transport ship by sharing his daily ration of water with it. He started a plantation on the Caribbean island of Martinique. Coffee spread from here, first on the islands of the Caribbean and later on the mainland of Central and South America. By the late 1800s, Brazil was growing most coffee in the world market, a title they still hold today. A large contributing factor to the quality of coffee in these growing nations is the infrastructure, like roads, electricity, and ports. Not only do these help in the speed of transporting coffee to market, but these infrastructure indicators contribute to the quality of life for the farmers and the harvesters, who in turn contribute to the well-being of the coffee plants. In nations with a limited or unstable infrastructure, farmers spend more time surviving themselves and thus do not have time to dote on the fragile and picky Arabica plants. Conversely, when a nation is politically stable with dependable infrastructure, farmers and harvesters have more time to dote on their plants, contributing to cup quality. So we have seen where coffee started and how it spread across the world to where it is today. This is called the coffee belt. Spanning the tropics in areas of high elevation, there is only a limited amount of real estate that can grow coffee. It can only grow between the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn. It can only grow from 1,300 meters above sea level and higher, with higher quality flavor in elevations closer to 2,000 meters and up. It can only thrive in temperatures between 60 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Finding real estate in the tropics that average 60 to 75 Fahrenheit is a challenge. And rainfall is another factor. Plants prefer around 60 inches average annual rainfall. So, with these factors, we have a coffee belt comprising areas that can grow high quality Coffea arabica sustainably. I like to break this coffee belt up into three spheres in my thinking. First, we have East Africa and Arabia, where coffee had its start. Next, we have Southeast Asia, where coffee developed next. And third, we have the New World, the Caribbean and Latin America. Let's look at these three spheres and the nations which grow our favorite beverage. First, in East Africa, Arabia, on the African side, you've got Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, as well as Rwanda and Burundi. To a lesser extent, you also have Uganda and Congo, which also grow coffee. And on the Arabian side, you've got Yemen. Broadly speaking, coffees from this region are sweet and fruity compared to the other two regions. Excellent coffees from these regions can score above 90 points on the SCA grading scale. In Southeast Asia, coffees in this region are grown in Papua New Guinea, as well as the Indonesian islands of Sumatra, Java, Bali, Flores, and Timor. As well, India has some nice offerings. Vietnam grows a lot of coffee, but 97% of their 3.6 billion pounds of annual production is the more bitter Robusta species, rather than our beloved Arabica species. I find Papua coffee to have a mild mouthfeel, but still sweet. The Indonesians that I've tasted tend to be heavier, with lots of body, even to the point of an earthiness that masks the sweetness. This is probably oversimplifying things, and case-by-case investigation could be well worth the effort. Finally, within the Western Hemisphere, we look at three subsections: the islands of the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. Broadly, let's call New World coffees a classic mild, though there's a uniqueness to each one of them. In the Caribbean, coffee is grown in Jamaica and Dominican Republic, and to a lesser extent, Haiti and Puerto Rico. Though Jamaica is known for its Blue Mountain coffee, the notoriety exceeds its deserved place in the market, with other origins often exceeding that of Jamaican Blue. Dominican tends to be mild and clean like many Latin coffees. Haitian and Puerto Rican coffees don't get a lot of exposure on the specialty coffee scene. Every Central American country except for Belize grows coffee, and each has remarkable offerings to the market. In general, Central American coffees are clean and mild, with an average body not too gritty. My particular go-tos are Guatemala and Panama, though I've been wowed from different offerings from each of these growing nations. Countries in the category include, from north to south, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. Lastly, South America offers some really special coffees. Brazil and Colombia are the big contenders both in this subregion and in the worldwide market, ranking number 1 and number 2 respectively in annual Arabica production for over a century. Brazilians that I've had tend to have a heavy body, a mild acidity, with a nutty or chocolatey flavor note. Colombians are hard to classify because they have a large range of taste profiles. Generally, they're chocolatey, but yet sweeter than Brazilians. Other South American players are Peru and to a lesser extent, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Bolivia. Peruvian coffees that I have are heavier bodied, nutty, and chocolatey. Coffee, along with everything culinary, is an art. It's true what they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but what one coffee lover enjoys is unappreciated by another. So I can't tell you that coffee from one place is incredible, but coffee from another place is awful. I can tell you what I like. And you might love it, and you might hate it. You have to get out there and try it all. Compare, contrast, love, and hate. Learn what your palate loves. Even better, learn to love each origin for what makes it unique in the market. Appreciate each coffee for what it uniquely is. So I hope you've learned something new about coffee, how it's spread around the world, and what each growing origin brings to the cup. If this video has scratched an itch that you have about digging deeper into the coffee world, then let me recommend two books to you. The first is The Classic Coffee History by Mark Pendergrast. Its title is Uncommon Grounds, and you'll learn all facets of where coffee came from, how the industry grew, what are the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of the coffee industry in history. The other, if you're interested in just learning more about different coffee origins, locations, then the World Atlas of Coffee is your book, and it's by our good friend James Hoffmann, a world barista champion and coffee roaster and barista in England. I would commend this book as well as the Pendergrast history book to you, and you can get them wherever finer books are sold. So thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you in any way, then I would welcome you to subscribe to our channel. If you want to try a variety of coffees and help us create more coffee videos, then become a patron of this channel. The link to our Patreon page is in the description. By supporting our channel, you can get either a half pound or a whole pound of freshly roasted coffee shipped right to your door each month. Or you could visit our web store and see our entire catalog of specialty coffees at joebyschmo.com. The link is also in the description. You are amazing, and you should be drinking amazing coffee.